This is the video for 7-4, and we are talking about what to do with the exponents when you are dividing. So this is the next rule that you need to write down and you need to memorize. Whenever you are dividing powers that have the same base, you subtract the exponents. So let's look at example number 1. The first thing that I have to do is I have to divide the coefficients. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. Then I need to look at the variable. I'm dividing powers that have the same base, so I need to subtract the exponents. So I'm subtracting the exponents. I need to create a common denominator in order to do so. And I end up with 2x to the 1/2 power, which remember means the same thing as 2 times the square root of x. In the next example, I'm doing the same thing. I'm dividing powers that have the same base, so I am subtracting the exponents. I need to take it one variable at a time. I need to subtract the exponents one variable at a time, because remember, you can only subtract the exponents that have the same base. So this is what I end up with, and remember, I cannot leave a negative exponent at the end, so I need to rewrite the problem like this. But I want to make sure that you fully understand why. Why does this work? Why, when you are dividing powers that have the same base, do you subtract the exponents? Well, let's think about what this means. Let's look at this problem again, and I rewrote this problem in expanded form. Because what is this problem telling me? This is telling me I have 2 a variables at the top and 5 at the bottom. It's also telling me I have 4 b variables at the top and 3 at the bottom. So what happens if I go through this and reduce or simplify this fraction? Remember, anything over itself is 1. So I can cross off 2 a variables from the top and 2 from the bottom. I can also cross off 3 b variables from the top and 3 from the bottom. And then what am I left with? I'm left with 1 b variable at the top and 3 a's at the bottom. Well, that's the answer that I got. So that's why this works. Go ahead and hit pause and work out these on your own practice problems. Here are the answers to the first 2. Pause the video and check your work against mine. If you got it wrong, please redo it. Here's the answer to the third problem. And here are the answers to the last 2. Example number 2. Remember, this is saying that this entire thing is raised to the negative 3rd power. So I need to distribute this negative 3 to every exponent inside the parentheses. And remember what you do when you're taking a power to a power? You need to multiply the exponents together. And also remember that if there's no exponent written, the exponent is 1. So I need to multiply this -3 with every exponent that's inside the parentheses. And when I do so, this is what I end up with. But now everything that has a negative exponent needs to be moved to the other side of the fraction line. And then I can reduce 2 to the third power, which is 8, and that's my final answer. So after you work that out, go ahead and hit pause and work out this on your own problem. I need to distribute this -2 to every exponent that's inside the parentheses. Then everything that has a negative exponent needs to be moved. And then I can simplify. And finally, dividing numbers in scientific notation. This is very important for chemistry. The first thing that you have to do is you have to divide everything that's not a base 10. Then you need to go ahead and take your base 10s. What am I doing? I'm dividing powers that have the same base, so I need to subtract the exponents. So this is what I end up with, and then I have to put it in appropriate scientific notation. So I need to move the decimal place over once to the right in order to put it in scientific notation. So think about what this means. This means in order to get the number into expanded form, I need to move the decimal place over 2 times to the right. But now, after putting it into appropriate scientific notation, now I don't need to move the decimal place over 2 times to the right. Now I only need to move it over 1 time to the right. Go ahead and hit pause and work out this on your own problem. So I went ahead and I divided everything that's not a base 10, and I got 1.69. And then I'm dividing powers that have the same base, so I subtract the exponents, and that's my answer. And this came out already in appropriate scientific notation.